Let's talk a little Thunder today.
Let's do it.
Brian Keating, Hannah Hoover. We got plenty to talk about. We are live on all the platforms. And so I think there's plenty to talk about. Exciting things going on with Oklahoma City. But
We pumping the brakes?
I mean, look, they got some injuries to be concerned about. So, look, we want to see everybody out there. If you got questions for us, we'll do our best to answer these. We're starting something that's a little bit brand new, and so
We're learning as we go.
we're learning as we go, but we want to connect with you guys out there, and I think there's a lot of things to talk about with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, Hannah Hoover.
I'm on the hot seat.
You're-
This
I
is the
mean-
thing, hot seat with Hannah. Is this what this show is
You know
turning
what? That's
into?
a great name, The Hot Seat with Hannah.
I think we should incorporate that.
Okay.
We have Keating on the couch that we amongst ourselves talk about. So maybe this is hot seat with Hannah. Yeah.
All right, hot seat with Hannah, question number one, and we'll both get into it. But look, the Thunder are the first place team in the Western Conference. We got about 25, I think it's 24 games left in the regular season.
Right.
Can they hang on to this thing? Because I don't know. They've had a bunch of injuries. They're banged up. What, can they hang on?
Well, it's a back-to-back tonight, right? You had
It is,
Toronto
yes.
last night. You have the Pistons tonight. And on the injury report, you're seeing some doubtful for Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. Chet is out, I believe. And so with those new adjustments, that's kind of how I'm going to answer your question as far as the health of this team. Because one night you have all these pieces that help you out. And maybe Chet didn't have the biggest night ever last night, let's be honest. But he does add such a defensive presence, obviously. And so I don't know. We kind of have to play it game by game. But this is tonight, the best in the East versus the best in the West. And
Hannah,
maybe
you're not answering my question.
I don't know if they're I'm skirting around it
gonna hang on to first
professionally.
place? Are we going to hang on to first place here?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they can make it happen. But even with these major players sidelined with injury, because of Case and Wallace, because of guys like Isaiah Joe, they are the reason the Thunder will be able to hang on. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, yes, 25 games to go. I think they're going to be the first place team in the Western Conference. Now, the Spurs have played great. And I think they've won 7 in a row, 8 in a row. They've been awesome. And that's a really good team that I think is going to play hard every night. It's a lot of what we saw out of Oklahoma City the last couple of years. It's just bring it every night. We got something to prove. So that's from the San Antonio perspective. But when Oklahoma City's healthy, they're the best team in the league.
Yeah.
They're the best team in the league. And so I think if you believe what the Oklahoma City Thunder tell us, and we can get into the injuries if you want, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be reevaluated
Right, in a week or so.
about Thursday.
Okay.
So that's tomorrow. So that report came out a week ago.
And
And
it'll
so
be
somewhere
tomorrow.
in the neighborhood of tomorrow. So
Do we believe tomorrow? Do you
well,
have
I'm
any
not saying
reason
he's going
not
to play.
to
I'm not
believe
going to
tomorrow?
say I'm not saying he's going to play.
But reevaluated.
Reevaluated is kind of update on the injury. So let's just say he's out another 2-3 games.
Right.
And then Jalen Williams comes back maybe 3 or 4 games after that. I think that's plenty for Oklahoma City to win the West. And so I think, yes, they've been banged up, but it doesn't really matter if you're banged up necessarily the first 5 months of the season. You want to be healthy in April, May, and you hope to be playing in June. And if this team's healthy in April, May, and June, I think they'll be playing in June.
You mentioned the Spurs, but what about the Nuggets? I mean, they've been on the come up as well. And Oklahoma City has had their fair share of problems with them 7-game series just last season. I mean, we'll talk about the Nuggets a little bit in this mix.
I think they're the second best team in the league. I think that's the team that if you're looking for somebody, okay, who's going to beat and who's going to contend with the Thunder in the most, the scariest way possible, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Denver again. I think the Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, who, along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, maybe the best player in the NBA. They've got championship pedigree. They've got experience. Jamal Murray's, one of the better guards in the NBA. I think that team's the team to be the most, I don't know if afraid's the right word, but that's the team that I respect the most. It's not San Antonio Spurs, who are really good, and I think they're coming.
They're just scratching and clawing a little more at the Spurs.
And they're just scratching the surface.
Right.
I think that's a terrifying team here in the next 2 or 3 years.
Kind of like the Thunder.
Kind of like the Thunder.
Right.
And so I think those are the two teams that we're going to see over the next 5 or 6 years go head to head. I think it's a little early for them right now. Yeah, that's why I think the Denver Nuggets, if you're just looking for somebody who could beat the Thunder, really beat the Thunder, and you can figure out a way that would happen if both teams are healthy, I think it's the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah. Well, I'm agreeing with you. That's why I brought it up, because I wanted you to agree with me that it's the
Okay.
Denver Nuggets, and also San Antonio's going to be a run for their money. But yeah, it's not easy. And we kind of mentioned the injury report, and you talked about Shea, but then you have Jalen Williams in the mix too, has this hamstring strain. And is that going to be a lingering issue if you keep re-injuring it? Yes, of course it will be, but hopefully he has that enough time, because there isn't that many more games, like you said, before we get to the playoffs. And the Thunder are in a position where they're going to need all of their guys, including Jalen Williams at the top of the list. So to me, that's where it could get scary, but hopefully he has, and Shea, enough time to almost prepare and get to as healthy as possible as they can,
Everybody's going to be banged up to some degree by
just
the
your
time
starts.
by the time you get to
Right.
this point in the season. Every team in the league, 82 games is a lot. The grind and the travel of the NBA is just grueling.
Take tonight, for instance, a back-to-back.
Back-to-back game. They played in Toronto last night. They got to go through customs and do all the things, and just to get to Detroit, just to play.
Right.
On the second night of a back-to-back. So that's all hard. You just want to get to April with a chance. And if this team's healthy and you cross your fingers, you knock on wood, all the things. There you that's
Can they
wood.
see that?
That's
Yeah.
wood. Yeah,
Okay,
I think
cool.
they can. That's wood. And if you get to April and this team's healthy, I like their chances. I really do. Let me ask you this. Hannah on the hot seat.
This is going to be a thing.
No, I love
and
it.
We're going to just beat a dead horse about it.
This is outstanding. Who's impressed you the most? Because we haven't had Shea for a couple of weeks. We haven't had Jalen Williams really most of the year. I think he's only played like 15 games, 19 games,
I think he just overextended himself, right, in the finals and the playoffs. I mean, that was a lot with the hand.
I know.
So, I mean, obviously you wanted to win and he made it happen, but
Who's impressed you the most here? Because guys are getting different opportunities now without the superstars than they'll get when they come back. So who's impressed you?
I think the obvious answer is Cason Wallace.
Got to be, right?
I mean, Isaiah Joe's done a lot too, don't get me wrong, but Cason Wallace is just, double-double the other night, just making headlines left and right, and it's really cool to see him kind of step into this role of creating some offense as well, because we know him as a defensive guy, and he's able to really step up in that way. So I like him, but also I'm going to even mention AJ Mitchell in the mix and over the years, but just obviously he's sidelined with injury right now.
He's another one of those guys.
He's another one of those guys that's stepped up to the plate. But Jared McCain, I have to say his name just because we didn't know what we were going to get, right? He didn't have just the biggest presence in the 76ers. So I think he's really taken on his role here and adjusted well, and I like what I see from him. But Queso is my guy, I want to say. I love watching him play. Who doesn't? He's great.
Cason Wallace has turned a corner in a way that I don't think I expected over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a dynamic offensive player. You know that he's one of the better defensive guards in the NBA. There was a stat coming into the game last night that he has more steals than he does fouls. Think about that.
That's talent.
That's talent.
I mean, that's a skill set.
It is. And so I think I'm going to go off the beaten path a little bit. It's easy to say Chet. He was an all-star. I think he's been tremendous, certainly on the defensive end. I think Isaiah Hartenstein is one of those guys
He has been.
that has just when he's on the floor, the ceiling for this team and the things that they can do, it just goes way up. And so I'm incredibly impressed with him. And we don't have to get into all the numbers and the contracts or whatever. I think Oklahoma City, after this season, is going to have some decisions to make as far as contracts and what they want their team to look like. I'm beginning to think he's a guy you have to have. You have to have him, that you'll give up some guards, whether it's an Aaron Wiggins or a Lou Dorton. I'm just throwing names out there. But I kind of am beginning to think that you got to have Hart moving forward. And I think Sam Presti's going to agree. So, but I think the obvious answer is Cason Wallace, who I think has just taken a step from being a really good player.
You had to say someone else.
Yeah.
And I listed like 3 people. I didn't make it easy on you. Well, because I'm so impressed by a lot of people. Like, truly.
Well, yeah, they got a really good. That's the reason they're the champs.
That's the reason, the
Give me
depth
the
of
gold
this
ball,
team.
Cooper. We got Cooper in here helping us out.
Coop.
We got the
He
gold.
hates it when I call him
This
Coop.
is like it's the recreation of the championship trophy.
This is going to, yeah, I mean, I love it. I love gold. Gold standard. I don't know.
It is.
I feel like you should be like twirling it on your finger.
I
Did you ever
don't
learn
think
how to do that?
I could do that when I was about 12.
Okay.
It's been a minute since I was 12, though.
We won't put you on the spot.
Okay.
I won't put you on the hot seat with that. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of excitement from this team, and there's a reason they won it all, and that's why it's easy to give a laundry list when you say, wow, look at all these players who stepped up. But back to Isaiah Hartenstein, he kind of is such a great culture fit to me as well. It seems like he's good for the team. You know, think about all the things he does in the community.
He's awesome, dude.
And just, I don't know, it seems like he's just the real deal on every front. And obviously him and Chet Holmgren together, the two big guys, add a really interesting piece. You need iHeart, like you said.
I think you do. And he is a unique player. He's a tremendous passer. He's so big. And that's the one thing about being around the NBA. Like, there's big, and all of them, all the guys are big. And then there's like guys like Isaiah Hartenstein and Steven Adams. And I mean, they are a different level. Victor Wembanyama is like
he's tall.
It goes from, yes, he is. And he's much taller than everybody else. And so you get a different appreciation. I think Hartenstein is one of those guys they just don't make a lot of. And so when you have one of those guys, you got to figure out a way to keep him.
Basketball is in his DNA. His dad played and all the things. So they were.
His dad's around on the sidelines a lot, and he's there at shoot around in all the games. And his dad's a big man too. Yeah,
you can tell that that's his dad. But we would be, you know, pregame, playoffs or whatever, and his dad always sits in the same spot and is always watching him shoot around. And I don't know. I just think that's cool. So his culture fit probably goes way back. I don't know him personally, but probably goes way back to just his family. And he's been around basketball his entire life. That's how he grew up with, the legacy of NBA. So we're making a case for iHeart, it sounds like. It sounds like that's what we're saying.
That's my case. I think he's got to be on this team moving forward, regardless of how many decisions that they have to make. I think you got to have a guy like that. Anything else pressing with Oklahoma City? I'm going to ask you a few different questions. Anything pressing news-wise that we got to get off our chest here?
News-wise,
I don't think so.
No, I mean, the big thing was the injury report, that there's some players, like I said, Caruso, Chet, and iHeart, speaking of.
Yeah, just injuries.
That we don't know if they're playing tonight, and some are doubtful.
And moving forward. I mean, that's injuries. I think that's it.
That's our big, question mark.
Okay, we'll get into some more fun stuff.
I think,
you know, that, like,
let's bring the people into our desk talk, because here's the deal. I think that I'm going to self-proclaim the fun group.
Yeah. What do you mean? Of course.
Like, I think people come over to our desk looking for a good gab.
Well, you can gab.
Yeah, well, everyone knows
we get after it pretty good. I think we have a good time.
We also we work a lot, though. Don't get us wrong. When it's game time, we're focused. I'm not making a pitch that we're just over here chit chatting.
No, it's okay. It's okay. What's your what is the most fun thing about covering the Thunder, especially once you get to the playoffs?
Once you get to the playoffs,
yeah. I mean, 82 games is a lot.
Yeah.
But once you get to the playoffs, and it's like really important.
We cover them heavy in the playoffs, right? We're there all the time. I really think the most fun is pregame, because we are so in the element. We are just like button up shoulders. I think in the finals, we were trying to figure out how we were going to fit as much camera equipment as we had and as many people as we had in this little teeny tiny corner. And you're on top of the people, you know, from Indianapolis or whatever.
Oh,
and then you have celebrities showing up and sitting down, and then you have players right behind you that are warming up. And
did you have a favorite celebrity that you saw in the finals? Because there are quite a few.
You want me to say my answer?
No, I want you to
joke?
say no. I want you to say the real answer. Well, I mean, look,
you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
there were a few people that we saw for a lot of weeks, and then kept coming over or whatever. But no. Who did you see? Because there were a lot of celebrities.
Okay, I will. This is a for real answer. This was my fangirl moment.
Okay.
A-Rod.
Yeah, it's A-Rod.
Like, I mean, I saw him from Minnesota Timberwolves, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's A-Rod. Because I grew up baseball and I always got into that. So that was and then I guess I have to say Shaq. Because Shaq walked past us when we were in a tunnel or something, and he legit had a graphic tee that had Superman, and everyone else kind of dodged, and I don't know, I'm sure they made eye contact, but I'm the one that's like, hey Shaq, what's up? And everyone else just keeps walking, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna say hi to him, this is awesome. So what about you?
I was gonna say A-Rod too, because you're talking about one of the best 25, 50 players ever to play baseball.
He's a huge
It's Alex
deal.
Rodriguez. He's now one of the owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, like, when he shows up, that's pretty awesome. In years past, we've had like Jay-Z and Beyonce came to some games way back when.
That is cool.
And that's pretty cool.
That's hard to top.
It's pretty tough to top Jay-Z and Beyonce. But
We were also scheming, like, if it wasn't Indianapolis,
if it was New York,
New York, like, oh my goodness,
New
imagine
York
the
again.
number of people in this room.
is there anybody you'd be looking forward to if it was New York?
I'm trying to think about who I was thinking about then. Who were you thinking about then?
In New York?
I've slept a couple of times.
That's
since
true. That's a
then.
good point. I mean, Spike Lee.
Okay.
There's something, there would be something that would be cool about
You
Spike
would
Lee.
just, yeah, you would fangirl. No, I won't think you would, but internally,
no.
you have a moment.
Look, we've been on the sidelines where there's a lot of people and a lot of famous people at times,
Right.
and players and athletes and owners and all that stuff. But occasionally go, oh, look at that's Spike Lee, or
Like-
that's A-Rod, or
Right. And you kind of
that's-
just
look at
want
Shaq.
to.
He's an enormous human.
Right. That's the moment you pull out your phone when they're not looking and like take a video for your Instagram because you want everyone to know.
Is that what you do?
I actually did that. But I just want everyone to know, like, look, he's in the building. You're going to see him later. Also, this is kind of cool. I'm 5 feet away from him.
100%.
Who doesn't do that? Small
No,
flex.
100%.
I'm just being real. Like, who doesn't think to do that? Did you not think to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I took a picture of A-Rod,
See? You
posted
gotta
it on
have
the
it
socials.
for the memories too.
Yeah, so you can go back and
Mm-hmm.
on this day in
I don't know who-
2025, we saw A-Rod.
Oh, you know who I was thinking about for New York?
Who?
Kylie Jenner.
I didn't think of that one, but I get it.
That's a very cultural pull from like.
Timothy Chalamet.
That's it. There you
Yeah.
go. Mm-hmm.
Like
See,
I did
I was more about the lip kits, like from Kylie Jenner, but like she has like the lip gloss line.
Uh-huh.
This is me being a girl, which you can't relate to, but this is why I would like to see Kylie Jenner.
Okay.
Like, girl, that's awesome.
I was thinking like Seinfeld
Yes, that'd be awesome.
or Chris Rock goes to a lot of those games. So anyways, I don't know.
We have a long list of people that we are waiting to continue to see.
So we kind of veered from the original question of
What's the coolest
what's
moment?
the coolest thing about covering the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs? But
This
I don't.
is what
I
we
don't,
do
I
best.
mean, I don't hate it. That's cool.
This is what we do best. What was your coolest moment about covering Oklahoma City in the playoffs?
There's something about the stage
Yeah.
that just doesn't come around a lot. I've been doing this a long time, almost 20 years in television and 14 years here, and there's just something. I remember walking into Game 7 of the Denver series. So this is a second round playoff series, and I remember walking into the building and just kind of looking around
Mm-hmm.
and feeling the stage and feeling the anxiety in the building and
Yeah.
understanding the moment and the opportunity. I think those are the most fun things. That's why we like sports,
Yeah.
because you can lose.
Totally. There's a lot at
You've got
stake.
these dreams and this, and you can lose.
Yeah.
And so that's the most fun for me. Now, every game in the finals was that way.
Yeah.
Certainly, once you got to the end of the finals, it was that way. But I think it's just the stage. And that stage just doesn't show up very often.
Yeah.
I hope it shows up again.
Yes.
Like at all, the rest of my career. I hope
Totally.
it shows up again.
But you have to be grateful for the moments because they don't always come by that. Like for me, I got here the first year and they were out by the time really my first
In the second
game.
round.
Yeah, in the second or I think they were out at this
You showed Game 5, yeah.
I showed up at game 5
Yeah.
and 6 they were out against the Mavs. So yeah, I was like, man, well, that was a bummer. I didn't really get to see much of that. But I remember just appreciating the moment a lot because I had never been on that kind of a, environment or stage of watching that level of basketball be played and that high of stakes. So like I totally
Yeah.
get what you mean because it's not common, for this to come by your team or your area that you cover. So
When
I agree.
when I got here, my first year working at Channel 5 was in 2012. And within 5 months,
there you go.
within 5 months, the Thunder were in the finals. And so they didn't win that one, obviously. But going through that, you always kind of thought, okay, well, that'll happen again.
Right.
And that'll happen with this group because they got Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, and Serge Ibaka. And then they got close, but it never happened again. And so you just don't know. And so that, again, that for me is, it's just the stage. I've never covered a national championship football game.
Yeah. You've been doing this for
and
20
I've been doing
years.
this a long time.
Right.
Covering OU football.
College
for-
football playoff and
I've
a lot
covered
of
a
other
lot of
things.
playoff games, but
Yeah.
I've never covered the national championship game. And so that's something that I remember being at the Rose Bowl thinking that OU's going to beat Georgia and they're going to play for the national championship.
And here we go.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And the Rose Bowl was unbelievable. But you just, once you get to that stage, you want to do it over and over and over. And so that was the coolest thing for me.
So we're hoping we get to do it over and
Well,
over. and
yeah.
over.
I mean, come on. You kidding me? That was
Keep it rolling.
spectacular. You can't ever count on winning and losing, but
Yeah.
being on that stage.
But we're
man, that's
optimistic this
unbelievable.
season.
Yeah,
for
why not?
sure.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to be.
No.
You got another one? Got another big question
Another
for me?
big question. I don't know. We're just kind of winging this, and I
Okay.
kind of like it that way
Me too.
because that's sort of how we
It's kind of how we
kind
do
of
it.
how we do it, anyways.
I learned that.
Other than injuries, what's the scariest thing you think for Oklahoma City? Just kind of moving forward, and whether
Like
it's
for
this
this
season,
year?
yeah, sure.
The scariest thing.
I mean,
for
maybe that's
Oklahoma
not the right
City?
word, but
Or just like the most challenging. or
the thing
like,
that would give you a little bit of pause
right.
about getting back to
The
the
finals?
games that they want to play in.
You mean in the regular season? I'm gonna go with it in the playoffs.
No,
If
because
they-
it only matters in the playoffs.
Right. So I'm going to say in the playoffs, I think extending series to 7-game series would give me a little bit of an
Game sevens?
anxiety. Yeah, it's
You got
game
two of
7.
them last year.
Yeah. If you extend series to 7 games, like that gives me a little anxiety. Maybe just as like, whoa, that's a lot of wear and tear on a team that's already, I guess it kind of does
Mm-hmm.
relate to health, but and just in general, extending anything to 7 games is kind of risky business. And it just feels like, man, we're drawing this thing out. It could really go either way. But there are just a lot of teams that are super, super talented and that would make it, it could go 7 series. That's a real, or I keep saying 7 series. It could go 7 games. That's
We
a
know what
real
you mean.
reality. Damon is in the window over here waving at us, and he wants to come on, I think is what it is.
We should have him on. If he shows up again, let me know.
I
We'll
will.
get him in.
Yeah, I got a little
we
distracted.
got 5.
That's one
7
thing
more
about
minutes.
me. I do have a little bit of a squirrel brain. It's like squirrel, so that's why I got a little distracted.
brain.
Like a little, I can get distracted easily. 20
Okay,
seconds.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, the thing that would bother me is just if they get to a point where it goes 7-game series. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, we brought up the Nuggets a little while ago.
That's your pressure
I
point?
just think when you're playing really good teams, the margin for error is pretty much none. Now, the Thunder have more margin for error than everybody else. They've got more ways to win. They've got more better players than you do. They probably have the best player on the floor almost every night.
Right.
The one series they might not have the best player, depending if is the Denver series. Nikola Jokic, Shea, kind of right there.
Yep.
And you're right.
People in the comments probably have a
that's okay.
opinion on that, but it's the facts. The facts are the facts. They're
Look,
up there for a reason.
They're both going to be in the Hall of Fame. They're both
Yeah.
champions. They're both Finals MVPs. You're splitting hairs if you
But
make me pick
but
one.
our
But
loyal fans here in Oklahoma
yeah,
City.
that's right. But when you're playing great players
Yeah.
and you're playing great teams, you can lose. Now, the Thunder have more ways to win than everybody else, but the margins
Agreed.
are still slim. And they played 2 Game 7s a season ago, and they won them both. I like the fact that they were at home for both of those Game 7s. I think that made a difference.
A huge difference.
We've been in a lot of arenas. I've been in a lot of road arenas. There's a lot of really good ones. But that place is a little bit different. I think it's the best places I've ever been is the Paycom for NBA, and San Antonio is really good.
Yeah.
Kind of in a small markety way.
It's that
that-
everyone's a fan.
It is.
Shows up to the game.
it is.
This is our team.
For sure. They
Yeah.
had they just it is a small market belief of these are our guys in the way that it is in Oklahoma City. So I do think it's important to try to win the West,
Mm-hmm.
to have the best record, so you get those Game 7s at home.
Makes a difference.
It does make a
because
difference.
if they do go that far,
Exactly.
we don't want them to. I don't
Well,
want them
they
to.
blew 2 Game 1s and had to kind of get off their
It's a roller coaster.
backsides and figure it out. And
And they figured it out in Indianapolis. Those were some nail biter games that you just thought to yourself, how did that just happen? Like, what just happened? I thought that. I remember
there were a few
post-game.
times. Yeah, we did it was
I have a picture of you too, where basically that is the caption. How did that just happen?
How did that just happen? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
after Game 4.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there because we'd done about 20 minutes worth of TV after on the postgame show. And the Thunder, they were already down 2-1 in the series, and they're pretty much dead to rights. I mean, they're down 10 or 12.
Not to be a negative Nancy, but it just kind of
just-
was what was happening.
It was.
Yeah.
And the building in Indianapolis, like they can smell it.
They were already cheering. It was like, repulsive to me.
They were
anyway.
planning the parade
Yeah.
as they're about to take a 3-1
You
lead.
said
Like
that
for real.
to me, yeah.
And it just wasn't going to happen. And then, oh my gosh, Shea hit a couple of shots and they got hot, and somehow they find a way to steal a game that was over.
Right.
And I remember doing the postgame show, and it's kind of a blur because we don't have very much time between the end of the game and here's the headset and go. So it's like 90 seconds between what happened.
It really is our most honest thoughts ever.
It is.
It's like knee-jerk reaction.
It is.
There is no other way.
No, I mean, that's the first thing and so 90 seconds later, after the most improbable, biggest win in franchise history, and now it's our job to put a
summary or like
summary on what just
not
happened.
that you
It's
didn't
like,
already watch it, but we're bringing you inside, right? Of like what
Yeah.
we saw, because you're not in Indianapolis with us, most of you, so it's like, okay, well, we'll tell you what in the world just happened. And, that can be hard to summarize
yeah, but it was spectacular.
I think it was fun.
It was super fun. But no, it shows you the margin, as good as Oklahoma City was, and they're the champs. Like there are a lot of moments where
It could have gone either way.
It might not have happened. And so I think that's the thing for me. And that's what you appreciate most about winning. I think I've said it a million times. It's why it's so hard. It's impossible to win championships. It's impossible. I know somebody does every year, but it's impossible. And that's why.
It's the perfect storm because there's so many factors of health, but also the right pieces and depth. And
you have to be good enough, and you have to get lucky enough, and you have
which
to
is
do
why
all these
Sam
things.
Presti's so
Well, there's no doubt
stinking
about
good.
that. And it's why people grab the ball and they fall on the floor and cry.
Right.
It's why they cry.
What's your favorite fall on the floor cry moment? Like, the iconic ones, or maybe not iconic.
Man, I mean, look, Michael Jordan's my favorite player of any sport of anything. So
You
there's
his.
there's a famous photos of Michael Jordan on the locker room floor where he's got the basketball and he's face down and he's crying. And
That's the one.
It happened like right after his dad had passed away too. And so like that's the one for me. But I remember LeBron crying he didn't cry as much in Miami because it wasn't as hard. It wasn't as impossible. But when he got to Cleveland and they beat the Warriors coming back from 3-1, that was impossible. And that's when it all came out of him.
Right.
Kevin
It's
Garnett
inspiring to watch, I think.
Garnett staring into the camera, anything is possible, so whatever. And but it's why guys cry, because it's impossible. And to try to do it again, you start to put yourself in a small group of
greats.
teams
Yeah.
that have ever done that.
Totally.
And
it's fair to
so
say.
that's the impossibility of it. And they're chasing history in a way. And it's just, I don't know, it's cool to be, I don't know that we're along for the ride, but we get to ride like sidecar. Yeah, like,
Totally.
this is the ride. And then we're just kind of over here
Yeah.
in the sidecar.
We're not
but
cool by any means, but we're definitely in the mix of getting to
It's-
look
that's
over
cool. That's cool.
we're close enough.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or we can say, hey, our coolest moment was seeing Shaq in the tunnel,
My coolest moment was when the confetti was coming down and I'm staring at that
That was the
gold
coolest
basketball and they're lifting it up in the Paycom and you just go,
Well,
out of body
doesn't
experience,
feel
bizarro.
real.
It did not, and in some ways still doesn't.
I know. It kind of feels like
I look
did
at our
that just
pictures
happen?
and you go, "Wow, that did happen."
I know.
I'd like to see it again.
Run
Like
it
to see it
back.
again. That it?
Repeat.
You got what
Oh,
other
that
big
wasn't.
thoughts?
We're done. Wrapped
No,
up.
it's okay. I mean, we've done
But I mean-
about we've done a little while. I don't know. I think we're gonna do some of these along the way. One of the things, I don't know if I'm gonna try something here at the end as we do some of these. Let's ask a ridiculous question of each other, and
As one does.
as one does, and get not ridiculous, but try to learn a little bit of something about us
Oh, okay.
at the end of every podcast. I just thought of this afternoon.
I think it's
This
a
could
great
be a terrible
idea.
idea.
By the way, This is totally on the fly because
I loved it.
I
Yeah.
love that. I'd love to know
I
things
got this-
about Keating.
So here's the deal. I got this. You might even know. Like I don't. We can evolve this over the course of time. We're gonna do this. All right.
Get
But
to
I got
know
this
Brian
idea.
Keating.
I got this idea from my son because he had to do a thing, and he's trying to be distracted. So his teacher's asking him questions to try to distract him. And one of the questions that she asked him was, "What was his favorite animal?" So I will ask you what your favorite animal is.
Off the top of my head, giraffe.
Giraffe.
100%.
Wow. Why for a giraffe?
I've just always, I don't know, resonated with giraffes. I don't know. I think they're really pretty and they're tall and lanky. I think I could be considered tall and lanky
You could be considered tall and lanky.
for sure. So giraffe, or I'd say a horse, but
Okay.
giraffe's more exotic and fun.
I like giraffe. That's a great answer.
How about you? What's your favorite
It's
animal?
buffalo.
Keating?
It's not even close.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
love
already knew
buffaloes.
that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
should've
I
known
love
that.
buffaloes. There's just something powerful and cool and majestic, except they're not like quick twitch animals. They're like,
Yeah, it's not
they're
a
like
cheetah.
it's not a cheetah.
Right.
It's just,
I like a cheetah too.
it probably comes because I went to Colorado, and
Yeah.
so I got to be
You saw a
close
lot of
enough
buffaloes.
to Ralphie.
There's also,
Uh,
I've seen Ralphie come out of the chute, and that is scary.
it's pretty awesome.
It's awesome, but for me,
Yeah.
Josh was playing Colorado, my brother, and
Yeah.
they would come out the visitor tunnel, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that so much. I mean, it could be dangerous territory.
It could. Well, they got a
They gotta,
fence around him.
right.
Just
but if you
run
got
them and
loose,
yeah, you don't want
might
that.
be in
So,
trouble.
anyways,
did you ever do sideline work
Yeah.
next to Ralphie?
I did.
Yeah.
I've been next to the Ralphie pen. It's
Perfect.
awesome. So,
any
anyways, I
any
love
other
buffalo.
hobbies we should know that you're working on right now, or
That's
anything
for the
like?
next episode,
Okay,
Hannah.
we'll
It's
talk
one
about hobbies
question
next.
per, and so we're gonna send this
Listen,
out there before
nobody
we do this
cares
again.
more than one question. Let's be honest. What's your favorite
I'm
animal?
not that interesting.
What's
so we
your
gotta
favorite
save these up,
color?
all right?
Stay tuned next week for the favorite color. This is like going on a first date. You know, when you go to a first date and you're like, my goodness, I just asked this guy what his favorite color was. This is kind of that way.
I've never asked that on a first date. Is that what you do?
No, I don't actually, but I'm just saying it's those level of questions. Now that people know about Brian Keating, I think Cooper is telling us to land the plane because
he
he's
is.
like, Hannah, we've officially crossed over to what's your favorite color. So
I thought it was a great question. Tune
I
in
like
next
the
time.
animal question.
Well, I just thought, that was kind of interesting.
We'll workshop
Get
this.
to know,
Listen.
us a little bit better along the way. One kind of random.
If you can't laugh at yourself,
I could do that.
you're just no fun.
I
so
can
we're
definitely laugh
fun.
at myself.
Anyways.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more
Bye.
insight. See you.